Let's now discuss the different methods of heat transfer. As stated a while ago, heat transfer is the process wherein thermal energy is exchanged between two objects due to their temperature differences. The three methods of heat transfer are conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction takes place between objects that are in contact with each other. This means that heat energy is directly transferred through a material. This method of heat transfer is most effective in solids. We can observe this transfer of energy when cooking. When the bottom of the pan is placed under the fire, the heat energy from the fire will be transferred to the pan. That is why it becomes hot. As the pan becomes hotter, the heat energy will be transferred to the food that is placed on it. This is the reason why the food gets to cook and also become hot. What do you think is the reason why cooking pans are made of metals? Correct, because they are good conductors of heat. Conductors are materials that allow thermal energy to readily flow through them. Metals like silver, copper, steel, and aluminum are good conductors of heat. On the other hand, materials that transfer heat poorly are called insulators. This is the reason why most cooking utensils have handles made of plastics, rubber, or wood. This is to prevent heat from flowing to the handles, which prevent us from being burned. The next method of heat transfer is called convection. Convection is most effective on fluids. Fluid is any material that flows. Examples of fluids are liquids and gases. Convection is the method of heat transfer through the circulation of liquid and gas. It is the transfer of energy by the rising or sinking of matter due to density differences. A good illustration of convection is boiling water inside the container. When the water molecules at the bottom of the container were heated, they become less dense. Since they became less dense, they will now rise. On the other hand, the relatively cooler and denser molecules from the surface begin moving downwards or start sinking. When these molecules are already on the bottom, they will start to heat again and become less dense and eventually will rise again. This cycle will create convection currents. Due to these convection currents, the boiling water ensures that the food being cooked is also in motion. This prevents the food from sticking to the bottom of the container. Another example of heat transfer by convection is the rising of hot air above the flame and the moving down of air as it cooled down. The last method of heat transfer is through radiation. In radiation, heat moves through empty space such as the outer space from the sun to the earth. There is no medium like water, air, nor any solid material where heat can travel through. Radiation is the transfer of heat by means of electromagnetic waves. We feel the heat coming from the sun because of radiation. And that ends our discussion about heat and the different methods of heat transfer. In our next video, we are going to learn about electricity and the different types of charging processes. See you on our next science lesson. Amazing!